There's a certain energy building around the Golden State Warriors right now, and it feels like we're about to witness either a glorious comeback or the final act of a legendary era. But while the vets are locking in and setting the tone for one last serious push, not everybody seems to be reading the room. And the name in question? Jonathan Kuminga. Look, let's call it what it is. This is the kind of situation that gives a fan base the ick. You know that feeling. Things are going well, there's hope, there's promise, and then suddenly someone does something so out of sync with the vibe that it just ruins the whole mood. That's where we're at with Kuminga. Because while veterans and hungry players were showing up to a private, team-led offseason camp hosted by none other than Jimmy Butler, a clear signal that this roster is already laser-focused on the next championship run, Kuminga was a no-show. And yeah, sure, technically he's still a free agent. There's still some paperwork to finalize. But so is Gary Payton too. And guess what? Payton was there. No excuses. No delay. Just showing up and putting in the work, even before contracts are officially signed. That says a lot about who's really about that life and who's still unsure where they fit in. And if you're Kuminga, that should have been the moment to prove something. Not to the front office. They already know what he brings on the court. But to the locker room, to the guys who've already spilled blood and sweat for this organization. Because the truth is, these kinds of informal workouts aren't just about staying in shape. They're about building chemistry. They're about showing you're all in. And more importantly, they're about aligning with a championship mindset, something that's been the foundation of every great Warriors run over the past decade. Let's rewind for a second. Remember the 2015 squad that took the league by storm? That team wasn't just loaded with talent. It was built on cohesion. The dinners on the road, the shared workouts, the way guys held each other accountable. That was the difference between just being a contender and becoming a dynasty. And guys like Steph, Draymond, and Clay, they didn't just lead on the floor. They built a culture. So, when a guy like Kuminga decides not to show up to something like this, it's not just a missed workout. It's a missed message. It tells the rest of the group, I'm not there with you. I'm doing my own thing. And at this point in the Warriors' timeline, that's not going to fly. Because this is no longer about development. This is no longer about waiting for potential to catch up to production. This is a team that's going all in right now. Steph Curry isn't here to babysit another young project. Draymond Green isn't going to hold your hand. And Jimmy Butler didn't sign up for side quests. Everyone in this room knows what time it is. This is the last dance, the true last ride, a banana boat type of mission with everyone chasing one more ring, or, in Jimmy's case, his first. So, if you're not all the way locked in, you're out. Now, this doesn't mean Kuminga isn't talented. We've seen flashes, explosiveness, length, defensive potential. He's had moments where he looked like he could be the next big thing. But the inconsistency, the injuries, the questionable effort at times, it's all added up. And missing this camp, while guys like Payton are showing up despite similar contract situations, just feels like the final straw. Because when the margins are this small and the expectations this high, mindset matters. And Kuminga just sent a message that he might not be ready to make those sacrifices that champions make. Think about what the Warriors are trying to build this year. They're not stacking draft picks. They're not waiting for 3 years of development. They're trying to do what very few teams in NBA history have pulled off, win one more ring with a core that's been together for over a decade. And if you want to do that, you need players who buy in fully, players who know their role, players who are okay with taking a step back when needed and stepping up when called. Kuminga, at least based on recent moves, doesn't seem like that guy right now. So, where does that leave the Warriors? For starters, it puts pressure on the front office. Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Joe Lacob have some tough decisions to make, and fast. This isn't a season where you let things play out. You don't go into training camp with uncertainty. You don't enter October wondering if your young guys are committed. You go into battle with players who have already proven their loyalty, not just with words, but with action. Showing up to an informal workout might seem like a small thing, but in the Warriors' culture, it's massive. It's symbolic. It's a way to say, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go win something. And here's the thing. Kuminga still has value. He's young. He's athletic. There are teams, especially on the East Coast, that could be intrigued. Teams like the Miami Heat, who are always looking to reshape on the fly and could use a little youthful injection. And maybe that's the best move for everyone, because Kuminga might thrive in a system that lets him freelance more. But here, in Golden State, it's not about freelancing. It's about fitting in. It's about precision, sacrifice, timing, all the stuff that turns great teams into champions. And if you're not bringing that, you're just taking up space. The Warriors don't have time for that anymore. They've seen the warning signs before. Remember how things fell apart in the final years of their last finals run? The locker room tension, the lack of unity, the distractions. They've learned those lessons. And if someone's showing those red flags this early, they won't hesitate to cut bait, especially now when every single move matters. That's why you're seeing such a deliberate effort from the vets. They're not just coasting into camp. They're setting a tone. Jimmy organizing off-season sessions. Steph leading by example. Draymond pushing the pace. They're not doing that for show. They're doing it because they know it's their last chance. There's no next chapter after this unless this one ends in a banner. And guys like Kuminga, they either match that urgency or they get left behind. And if you're being honest, this isn't even surprising. The writing's been on the wall for a while. Steve Kerr never fully trusted Kuminga with consistent minutes, even when the rotation was thin. And now he might be seeing why. It's not just about what you bring on game day. It's how you carry yourself every day. Are you locked in? Are you accountable? Are you showing up, literally and figuratively? Because this team has no time for passengers. So maybe it's time for the Warriors to make a clean break. Package Kuminga in a deal for some veteran depth. Not stars, not splashy names. Just guys who know who they are, who are okay coming off the bench, who understand the system, and who will fight every night for a title. Guys who, even if they don't play for a week, will stay ready. Guys who don't need a guaranteed 25 minutes to feel valued. That's the kind of energy this team needs right now. And if Kuminga's not bringing it, then it's time to find someone who will. Because every decision you make when you're a young player with real potential is being watched. Other teams are watching. Coaches are watching. Teammates are definitely watching. So when Kuminga skips a team-organized run like this one, where guys like Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry are clearly setting the culture, it raises questions. Is he in it for the grind? Can he be trusted when it counts? Is he willing to sacrifice now to win later? Because talent alone has never been enough in this league. And if there's one franchise that understands that better than most, it's the Warriors. This team has never just chased stars. They've built winners. They've nurtured chemistry. They've developed role players into contributors and turned late-round picks into rotation guys because they value effort, focus, and mentality just as much as skill. So when someone doesn't show up, it's not just about the workout. It's about what that absence represents. And right now, it represents a player who might be drifting away from what this team is building. And for a franchise that's staring down the final stretch of its dynasty, that's unacceptable. Steph Curry doesn't have 5 years left. Draymond Green doesn't have time to be teaching life lessons. This team is trying to squeeze out every last drop of winning before the window slams shut. And the only players who are going to survive in this environment are the ones who recognize what's at stake. You either fit into that framework or you get moved. That's why the idea of trading Kuminga suddenly feels less emotional and more practical. This isn't about punishing him for missing one session. It's about identifying whether he fits the long-term plan, and based on the signs, it doesn't look like he does. He's shown flashes, yes. He's had moments. But he hasn't shown enough maturity, consistency, or buy-in to justify the risk of rolling into this season with him as a key piece. Especially when you consider what's on the line. A bad locker room fit could derail the entire campaign before it even starts. A couple of games with the wrong energy, the wrong effort, the wrong attitude, and suddenly you're behind in the standings, scrambling, making mid-season panic trades. No one in the Warriors front office wants to be in that position. They want clarity now. They want a group that hits the ground running, that's on the same page, that's laser-focused on June, not January, not contracts, not minutes. So if Kuminga's heart isn't all the way in, the solution is obvious. Find a new home for him while his value is still high. There are teams out there rebuilding squads, fringe playoff teams that would be thrilled to take a chance on a young wing with elite athleticism and two-way potential. Miami, for example, could make a lot of sense. It's a market Kuminga reportedly likes. It's an organization that thrives on discipline. And even though Pat Riley runs a tight ship, sometimes a change of scenery is all a young player needs to flip the switch. In return, the Warriors wouldn't be looking for anything flashy. No big-name scorers. No unproven rookies. Just tough, proven veterans who understand their role and are ready to contribute. Think guys who can stabilize a second unit, give you solid minutes when the stars rest, and most importantly, hold the culture together. Guys who know what playoff basketball feels like, who don't get rattled when the lights are brightest. That's what this team needs more than anything: stability, maturity, and dependability. And right now, Kuminga just hasn't earned that level of trust. It's not even personal at this point. It's structural. The way this roster is built, the Warriors can't afford any passengers. They need clarity, cohesion, and commitment. That's how you win titles. Not with promise. Not with potential. With presence. And Kuminga's lack of presence at that off-season session is the clearest indication, yet that his future might not be in the Bay Area. Again, it's not just about one missed event. It's about what that decision symbolizes to the core of this franchise. And from the outside looking in, it feels like a moment that might be too big to ignore. Even Steve Kerr's previous reluctance to give Kuminga consistent playoff minutes now feels more justified. It always felt like there was something deeper going on, something that had more to do with trust and readiness than pure ability. And now we're seeing it play out in real time. Kuminga still has a lot of growing up to do. That doesn't make him a bad person or even a bad player. It just means he might not be right for this moment and this team. And if that's the case, it's time to rip the bandage off and move on before things get worse. There's also a financial angle here. Kuminga turning down a solid offer, reportedly 3 years, $75 million, is the kind of decision that can backfire fast. Especially when you're in a limited market, your health is in question, and your overall resume is still being written. Betting on yourself works when the mindset matches the gamble. But skipping a team workout while simultaneously looking for a bigger payday, that's a dangerous combo. It makes other teams hesitate. It creates the narrative that you might be more about the bag than the banner. And that's the last thing you want floating around during contract talks. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are swirling around the Bay Area as speculation mounts that Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr may be preparing to step away from the team. Sources close to the organization, speaking on condition of anonymity, suggest that discussions about Kerr's future have quietly intensified behind the scenes. While no official announcement has been made, the basketball world is already abuzz with theories about what this could mean for the Warriors, a franchise that has dominated the NBA landscape for much of the past decade. Kerr, widely respected for his leadership, basketball IQ, and the culture he instilled in Golden State, has been at the helm since 2014, guiding the team to multiple championships and cementing their legacy as one of the league's dynasties. Yet insiders hint that personal considerations and the immense pressure of steering a title-contending team might be weighing on him. Some speculate that Kerr's departure, if it comes to pass, could open the door for a new coaching philosophy, a fresh voice in the locker room, and possibly a shift in the Warriors' long-term strategy. Among the murmurs are suggestions that the move could be amicable, with Kerr potentially seeking a break from the relentless grind of the season, rather than a fallout with management. Others, however, hint at subtle tensions within the organization, with differences in vision for the team's future contributing to the uncertainty. Naturally, the NBA world is buzzing with names of possible successors, though nothing concrete has emerged. Could a rising assistant coach step up, or might the Warriors pursue a high-profile replacement from outside the franchise? Speculation runs rampant, and social media is already a hotbed for fan theories and wild guesses. For now, all that can be confirmed is that Golden State's future, at least in the coaching department, hangs in the balance. The mere possibility of Kerr stepping away has sent ripples through the basketball community, with fans and pundits alike weighing the impact on the team's championship hopes. If the whispers prove true, the Warriors may soon face a pivotal moment, one that could redefine not just the roster, but the identity of the franchise Kerr has helped shape. As the rumor mill churns, one thing is certain. The NBA offseason may come with far more drama than anyone anticipated. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.